Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now I'm gonna explain my understanding about the seventh topic, which is about input and intake in second language acquisition. Actually, I'm gonna explain just the key points, which are about input, noticing, intake, and output. So let's start for the first one, which is input. So input consists of listening and reading. It may be viewed as all the exposure to the target language that is around us. So input can be defined as the language data which the learner is exposed to. It is important to the second language development because without it there are no output. It means if you don't hear or see the language, so you can't learn the language. Just think about the language that you have never heard or seen, and then try to speak that language, so you can't. So what is important for us to know as the teachers is what input is best. Well, the best type of input is when the input is slightly higher than the currently student's level, but it is still comprehensible. It still can be understood for the learners. So to get most out of the input, it has been suggested that students need to notice or pay attention to the linguistic features that make up the input. So it is believed that the act of noticing may actually lead to intake. So what is intake? Intake is the parts of input that second language learners can actually retain, store, and relate to existing knowledge. So let me give you an example. If I sit down and watch one of my beloved TV shows, so that is an input. All the language that goes in regardless of whether it is understood or not. Then we have comprehensible input, the input that learners can understand and arguably learn more from. And then we have noticing, the act of focusing and tending to linguistic items found in input. And finally, we have intake, the parts of the input that will affect the learner's linguistic systems. Yeah, and we are going to continue with the output one. So output consists of speaking and writing. If input is what goes in, so output is what comes out. For example, speaking and writing. So why output is so important? First, it promotes fluency and automatically. And second one, allows learners to notice gaps in their knowledge. And then the third, allows students to test run or experiment with the language to see what works and what doesn't. And fourth, force learner to opportunity to get feedback on their language and communication skills. And the last one, output helps drive second language development. So first one is input and second one is noticing, and after noticing it will be the intake, and after the intake it will be output. So that's all about my explanation today. Hopefully it will be understood. Hopefully it understandable and comprehensible. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.